He's Al Michaels. His new memoir, You Can't Make This Up, Miracles, Memories, and the Perfect Marriage of Sports and Television, is now available. And Al Michaels joining us here in the New York City Man Cave. Guys were wondering last night, what kind of dinner did you have?
Last night, I had a book signing in Huntington, Long Island.
Okay.
So at the end of dinner, we went through downtown Huntington, and there was a pizzeria. So we got a big pepperoni pie.
Oh, that's it.
And ate it in the car. And that's my night in Gotham, the suburbs of Gotham.
Okay, because they assumed you had a steak and a nice bottle of wine somewhere.
Tonight.
Oh, that's tonight.
For sure, at Nobu. And
Oh.
I only mention that because in case we can't get in, I'm giving them a pop. So I want to get in there at like 7:15. There you go.
Have you used your celebrity hood to get in to a restaurant?
No, I don't do that. But a lot of times the people in a restaurant are big sports fans, and then they may give me some preferential treatment, not because of who I am necessarily, but they'd like to know who I think is going to win a game so they can get their bets down or play fantasy football. So that does come in handy once in a while.
But did you ever kind of amplify your voice a little bit so they know you're there?
Well, once in a while, I'll call up and make a reservation like this.
Yeah, but do you ever do? Oh, it's a miracle that I got in here.
Right.
We got a table for six, Mr. Michaels, right over here.
Yeah, this impossible dream comes true.
Did you ever gamble?
Did I ever gamble?
Yeah, on games. Like, do you ever bet?
It's been so long. I think I might have bet some college football years ago. I say in the book, it's funny because I make these gambling references, and it's the rascal in me, and I love to do little things where I'm speaking in code to people who have a few bucks on the game. But Dan, if I had to make my money betting on the National Football League, as I say in the book, I would be researching Chapter 11 covenants, because anybody who thinks they know how to bet, forget about it. The vigorish kills you, whatever's taken out, like at a racetrack where they take out, 18 or 19%. You can't beat the game. There's nobody who beats the game. Nobody.
Why do you? Because Brent Musburger also will give a little mention.
More than a little.
But he's got money on it.
Brent might have money on it. But, that's what Brent does. I mean, to me, look, there are two ways I get my gambling jollies. One of them is playing craps, which I love. So I'm in Vegas or wherever there's a casino, and I'll play craps.
Are you good?
Even in Green Bay. Well, I know the math. But craps is the one game in a casino where you have the best odds. If you know how to play the game correctly, you take full odds and don't make stupid bets, the odds are not in your favor, but as close to even as they can be. And the other thing is I love the stock market. And, living on the West Coast at 6:30 in the morning.
Is that gambling?
Kind of fun. Well, yes, it is in a way.
Day trading is gambling?
Day trading or investing is gambling. It really is. No matter what you hear, and there's so much – I love CNBC. But I mean, stop it already. They have all these people on, and one week it's this and that, and I don't. A lot of times, what I've done through the years is when something is being oversold to you, that means it's in the inventory of the brokerage house or whatever. I'll short it, and believe me, it's been a pretty good. I once told Warren Buffett that. He said, interesting.
Oh, you
idea.
gave him advice.
I actually gave Warren Buffett advice. I said to Warren Buffett about 15 years ago, Dan Burke was retiring as the head of Capital Cities ABC, and I said, Warren, how's this? What if you had a full service broker and a discount broker, and then you found the worst full service guy you could, and said to him, give me the 10 stocks you want me to buy this week, and then say, let me think about it, and then you went out and in your discount account, you shorted every one of them the next day. He said, that's a very interesting idea. Not that I'd manifest it, but and it is, Dan. I mean, there's so much garbage out there. They're selling you used cars is what they're doing for the most part.
He's Al Michaels. His new book is You Can't Make This Up. Do you think gambling should be brought into the spotlight here? Should we be able to gamble on the NFL?
I'm of two minds on this because, every time something is regulated, it presents a different sort of problem. So to say that we're going to regulate this in certain states, and I know what's going on right now, I don't know what the answer is, but regulation, I don't feel very often is the answer.
Yeah.
So maybe just keep it going the way it's going.
Well, what you have is all these leagues want their piece of it.
Sure.
So they're trying to figure this out. Mm-hmm. And once they do that, then you'll find this, you know what, after further review, we think it's a good idea to have, sports gambling, legislated.
Yeah, if there's money in it for them, sure.
What did you think of our topic prior to the start of the show that if NBC management could come in and save either you, me, or Bob Costas, the building's going up in flames and they can only save one guy?
Well, the conversation made me nervous, number one.
Yeah.
And by the way, where is the...
We have fire
is there a fire escape here?
extinguishers.
And what are we on the third,
They were tested.
third floor?
They were
The
tested
Brooklyn
last week.
Battery Tunnel is
Yeah,
right
yes.
underneath us. If they could, they would probably let all of us go at that particular point. That's
Start over.
right. You got Josh Elliott coming in and Dan Hicks and a few other guys, and they'll say to us, the hell with them.
Now you got to pick.
Between who
You,
would they?
me,
It
Bob.
depends who it is. It depends who the executive is.
Mark Lazarus, the head of NBC Sports.
Mark would turn a blind eye. Mark is
Al, you got
Right
to
down
make
the
a
middle.
pick.
you.
No, that's because you don't believe that.
Oh yes, I do believe it.
You think
You're
that-
the most youthful. So right, you have a longer
By
career.
a couple of years.
You have a longer career ahead of you, and
But are you when?
And Costas makes a lot more money than you do, probably. Though then again, I don't know at this particular point because you're doing 18 million shows.
That's true.
So
When are you
these
gonna,
guys are laughing because they need raises.
Do you have a retirement plan?
Yeah. Oh, do I have a retirement? Oh, I mean,
You're not getting a raise.
No.
He just said no. There you go. Al got a standing ovation from
30%.
The
Yeah, let me qualify that answer. When you say a retirement plan, I thought you meant do I have
Not
an,
financial.
Do I have an IRA?
No.
That's
401,
so that's
no.
that's why I said
No.
yes. No, I really don't. I mean, I love what I do. I feel pretty good. Maybe they want to throw me out one day. I understand that if that happens. So be it. But I'll tell you what. If I can't do it the way I want to do it, I'll be the first guy I think to know, and I'm out. I'm not going to sit here and go, I got to do this forever and ever and ever. That won't happen.
But how would you know?
I'll know because I can't do the game the way I want to do it, the way I've done it. Let's say I prepared for it and I can't, all of a sudden the brain starts getting a little soft, and I start going, I start blathering. I've actually probably started that on the show today. But I think if I'm not there and I can't be in lockstep with the game, that will be the first indication.
But you look
And you'll be the one to tell me too.
No, I
want you to tell me.
Would you?
Yes, I would. I would like somebody who I really trust and I would know what was going on. You know what? I saw you the other day, or I saw you for the last 3 weeks, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'd like to know that.
But you have Vin Scully.
Are you telling me anything from last week, Indianapolis, New England, that you noticed that maybe would let you?
You know what? Well, let's just move on from that, Alan. Don't worry about it. I mean, look, I'll just keep those private.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think you
right.
misidentified a couple of guys.
But if I do it next week, you'll let me know.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah. When you do Cowboys Giants, and
Right.
when you say Staubach looks great for the Cowboys.
That would be the indication too, and that Y.H. Hiddle was down on the grass bleeding. Yeah, that would not be a very good thing for me
But
to do.
you see Vin Scully, Brent Musburger, you get the feeling that this is what they're going to do the rest of their life until they die, that they're going to do it.
Well, Vinny is a freak of nature, much like Chick Hearn was when he did the Lakers and was well into his 80s. And he's comfortable. He's fabulous to listen to. I've listened to Vinny since I was a kid. And he's indicated that this may be the last year, but if it is, I think Vinny's 85 or 86. An unbelievable run. And Brent still sounds great. So those guys, they're rolling along. And maybe it's something to do with what we do and being around younger people. And
Well, Joe
having
Paterno,
fun.
I think the same thing. Once he stopped coaching, in a sense, you stop living. Brett Musburger said that's why Paterno would not retire, because he was afraid that he would die.
Remember the old Marv Levy line? Marv Levy, who was in his 70s when he was coaching Buffalo, and they get to 4 straight Super Bowls, said, if you start to think about retiring, you've already retired.
Yeah.
So I try to avoid that. Those were pretty interesting words that he said. I don't know if he was the first guy to ever say it. He's the first guy I ever heard say it. And I think about that. But I think of, Vinny and Brent. I think, how about UB Brown? I mean, I listened to UB Brown doing basketball. I worked with UB for 1 year on the NBA about 10 years ago. He's phenomenal. And he's excited, and he loves being there. And that's the key. If you don't want to be there, get the hell out. But if you want to be there and you can still do it, keep going.
You hear energy and you hear passion. That's the first thing that leaves us. If I hear that passion, then you're excited to be there. You consume it. It's when you don't have that passion, when you don't hear that energy. I can hear that with Vin. I can hear that with Brent. Brent Musburg can do Penn State, Iowa on a Tuesday night in December and be just as excited as a national title game. That, to me, is a great talent. I have great respect for Brent to do what he did when he started the pregame show, CBS pregame show.
Right.
CBS, that was, to me, it was groundbreaking. You had Jimmy the Greek. You got a gambler, Phyllis George. We're going to have a female there. You got Irv Cross, African American, and they're doing this in the 70s.
Yeah,
I mean they were before everybody else there.
a new template. Of course, the Greek had a great thing going because he would pick one team on his radio show and the other team on the television show. Now, in the nowadays we would know, but in those days you couldn't hear both, and there was no internet and all of that stuff. So the Greek was batting, like 96%.
Would Jimmy the Greek, if he had those comments today
About
with social media when he was talking about African Americans,
Right.
what got him fired?
right.
But I have to imagine it'd be 10 times worse, 100 times worse because of social media. It'd be quicker that he would have been fired, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we have this. We don't give you a chance to apologize. You're either it's fireable or it's not, but mostly you get fired. You don't get a chance to say, hey, I'm sorry, and keep your job.
And sometimes things are taken ridiculously out of context, too. Because somebody thought they heard something and then it blows up. I mean, I go back. So I was talking to somebody the other day about Howard Cosell. When Howard Cosell called Alvin Garrett,
Yeah.
who was a
African-American,
short guy,
yeah.
he called him a little monkey on the air, and everything blew up. This was in the early 80s. Well, Howard was Jewish. A Jewish grandmother calls a child a little monkey. So when Howard said that on the air, I knew what he was saying. That's what, and everybody said, "Oh no, you don't call Alvin Garrett a little monkey. That's racist." And then Howard had to withstand at that time, a firestorm with people not understanding what he meant by
But
that.
imagine if that happened today.
Oh, of course. I mean, everybody's screaming and yelling and twittering, and the same. By the way, the same 11 guys are in the comment section on every blog, right?
Can you
Beating
stay?
the hell out of everybody, but it's the same guy.
Can you stay for a little?
Can I stay?
Well,
Of course.
I don't know what else you got.
I can't check into the hotel until like 12 o'clock, so
Do you
I'm here.
Oh, you are okay. Do you want to check the fire exits though during the break?
I do not want to check.
Oh,
the
you do
fire
not
exits.
want to break. All right,
No.
we'll come back with the great Al Michaels. Bob Costas will join us in an hour from now. I'll ask Costas that question.
About
NBC manager.
who gets saved.
Yeah. What do you think Bob Costas says?
Oh, it's Bob.
It's
Of
gotta be
course,
Bob. Of course it is.
He won't want his hair mussed up.